Alô, testando. One, two, one, two, 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 two. Alô. Pegando, não sei como é que eu ajeito o microfone aqui, cara. Alô, 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 alô. Ainda tá o barulho, cara. Eu não sei como resolver isso aqui não. Ainda fica o barulho do ventilador de fundo, né?
And what you had to do was to become a Union man for all to see.
So, how'd you like our harbor? It's but a rest area on the path leading across open plains. Right, you talk to the boss, eye to eye, like men of the plain. If you have any more questions, I'm set to talk. A key, huh? What door is this key supposed to open? Oh, say no more. I got you. I got that key right here. And let me tell you, it's mighty good of you to help us out during the strike. Working class solidarity, as they say. I'm not so sure about the hustle grind, but it doesn't matter. It's a good thing you're doing. What you're looking for is a basement door behind the greenhouse. That's behind the whirling in rags. That's all I know. Our organization is what you call compartmentalized. Means we keep out of each other's business.
Okay, but where did you get the key from?
The janitor gave it to me. Nice fella. We talked about life and things that really, truly matter. None of this mess we're in, this jiving and juggling. What's it for? To feed our children, I guess. I'm more of a philosophical dock worker. I like to talk about the big picture stuff. Who I am, who you are, what we are fighting for.
Who he is and what they're fighting for? Ask him about the Hardy Boys.
Los Ardis? They're an independent militant group. A bit too high-strung, but it comes with the responsibility. They're sort of like you. Preserve the rule of law and all that. Except it's Everard's law. But really, they're just like you.
Is he actually comparing you, an officer of the law, to some neighborhood vigilantes?
Why not? Must be nice being something else for a change. The rest of us are just folks. We're negotiating our share. Aye. All of it. However, right now we want all the harbor workers to be on the company's board, so they could take part in the decision-making process. No. I don't think I'm a communist. Seeing something of value and saying I want it all to myself is a much older and simpler notion. No science to it at all. Even a weak child can think it. The only things holding someone back are I can't and I shouldn't. Just the way the world works, boyadero. I think it's best you make up your own mind now that you've met him. In my eyes, he is a capable organizer and a decent businessman. I guess you kind of get to be the village chief. He oversees the harbor, makes deals with the owners or other relevant parties.
By that, you mean corruption?
By heavens, why would he not be corrupt? We live in a harsh and disordered world, see? The old man is corrupt for our benefit, and we know it. Appreciate it even. He is, personally, not too... He is reasonably lavish, sure. That's his prerogative. It's not like you want a saintly demeanor on a corrupt motherfucker. That would be a manipulative illusion. Besides, there are no non-corrupt systems in the world anyway. And moralism is the most...
Not you, you would like to say. But then there's that weasel door.
Sure, I've had the necessary free time. Fortunately, there's always time.
The look in his brown eyes conjures up an understanding. For him, having command of his time is the most important. The man sits on the railing, his hands reaching far and wide. Yet it feels as if he could, effortlessly, go even wider, if need be, an endless torrent of time.
The mercenary, eh? Who could have killed him? That's indeed the question. What a thought! Why would noble workers resort to such a thing? Unless they were your dead guy was an enemy combatant. He was an agent of the opposition, attempting to undermine our honorable... I ain't the murdering type, but that's just me. Large organizations like our union have all sorts of men, with all sorts of skills.
He means a more violent faction could easily take care of.
Understood. This has been of limited use. Still, thank you.
No problem. I wish the best to you in your search. Sure, I'm glad it's not my search.
Rigorous self-critique. Here it is. Hard facts from the man you are. You once jerked off in the locker room and were caught. You held a young woman by the arm and kept her in your apartment for 20 minutes against her will. That's right. These are not flights of fancy. These are real deeds, Harry, emerging from the darkness of your past. You tried shooting a fleeing suspect in the foot, but hit him in the pelvis, crippling him for life. And, above all, you let life defeat you. All the gifts your parents gave you, all the love and patience.
Right to work! Right!
A lorry stuck in the traffic jam. The windows are clear. They've been recently washed. You can see the driver has adorned his space with a substantial collection of peculiar paraphernalia. Proclamations about the back end of the cabin as a small perch to sleep. Large ashtray.
Racist nationalist paraphernalia. Not unusual in this part of town. This is our guy. Likely, yes. This guy's proud of who he is. Drapes it all over his machine.
He was acting tough before. This probably... Damn, that felt good. Your heart's pounding. No, you shouldn't. You're an officer of the law. That's the spirit. Never forget, the whole world's a wooden...
Looking for something odd?
Still here. Stuck in this damn jam, my man. Huh? Oh. No, I ain't got any money. They don't want to pay for unfinished work. The bosses, man. Yeah, it sure ain't good for me. Or you. I'd spare a coin or two for a city cop down in his luck. If I had, say, 4 myself. Oh, high-grade narcotics, illegal firearms.
Time to arrest him.
Can't even get a few jokes past you, my man. I've got another haul of found cargo. Mostly sporting goods, tracksuits, and that kind of thing. They usually get shipped to Grad and the Occident. Though we've been making headway in the Ilmaran market lately. We're pals and all, but I can't just freely hand out the merchandise. The bosses won't be happy. This rockin' beauty. Sure is, like a rash you can't get rid of. You interested in heavy-duty cargo machinery? Neat. For carrying large quantities of cargo a long distance. These found tracksuits need to find their way to the kids way out in Wamrau and Loran Bird somehow.
There it is again. A little touch of sadness beneath his cool. He thinks he's spent too long in this lorry.
Not unless they've illegalized sports equipment while I was on the road.
The man taps his fingers rhythmically against his arm. Ease into it. Don't go too far. This seems like a personal matter.
Man, nothing's troubling me. Just the usual Lorman tropes and hopes, the road and the rhymes. This jam ain't helping either.
That all the beans you got, Tommy? Damn, it really is hard to talk, man to man.
It's like, whatever's going on over at the docks. Workers got a blockade set up, making demands, no way in or out. Some pretty wild stuff, I hear. Like a giant new power crane in half the company? I forget what exactly. Good on them, I guess. I've heard talk there's a company rep in town, too. Like, they want to keep that money flowing in, my man. Ka-ching. Anything else? Yeah, this ain't really my area of expertise. I just do my job and get paid. Us lorry drivers, camionneurs, you still hang around here waiting for this mess to end. Most have scurried off somewhere to get drunk or high. Or laid. Not my thing. Chasing transient pleasures is a drag these days. I prefer the examined life now. Thinking, reflecting, observing.
What's better than chasing transient pleasures? The more transient, the better. When one's ended, you can get onto the next one. There are several footprints in the mud, left by work boots, anywhere from 6 to 12. The corpse lies on the ground among the remains of an absolutely demolished pinewood branch.
Mr. Measurehead has done a good job. Nothing is too broken or compromised. The victim is ready for a field autopsy. Yes. 1. Investigation of the scene. 2. Initial examination of the victim. 3. Field autopsy. 4. Transportation of the body to the morgue.
The fuck are they on about?
Cop's gonna cut his shit up.
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them. Unfortunately, no. Unhygienically? I suggest I handle the physical part of the autopsy and you take notes. That's right.
You knew it because you inspected your ledger. The lieutenant is relieved you know the protocol. The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with,
That's you.
The corpse is indifferent to your scribblings, just lies there. The next box says,
KK57 dash. Next. NA. Next. NA. Roughly 50.
the corpse looks ageless, like meat on a hook.
Mondial.
The pudgy mess of curdled meat looks neither mondial nor anything other.
Fucky!
Male.
Pigs can have sex?
Nor does he look male, with his pregnant belly.
We're still going with March 4th, 51. What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10. Case number is the same as the coroner's case.
KK 57 0503 0815.
None. At least not after the initial.
A strange word. Treatment.
Interfering with the body's position or wounds post-mortem.
How did you not know that? Aren't you a cop? You're leaving a weak impression here. Say something surehand, don't overdo it. It's okay to be unsure. A silent nod. The lieutenant places his gloved hand on the corpse. Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-DeLorean burial rites. It takes him 2 seconds to perform. Somewhere in Jamrock North, a small wood shed behind Rosenkrantz Row, Lieutenant Nick Feuerbach puts his hand to the chest of a small corpse, no larger than a monkey. It's raining outside, like elsewhere yet. An obese female sits in a wicker chair, her silhouette bull-like against the window. Outside, Grand Coudon. The day is turning dim for Sergeant Mac Dawson. Hand extended, he approaches, to make sure she is dead more than anything else. The building is tall, 7 stories wind-wrapped in solitude. Most of the apartments are unoccupied. This was a suicide. And so, all across Jamrock, Coal City, GRIH,
We should start the post-mortem.
the corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer why.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodin, I think. Let's see.
See, it's happening.
Babrodin, yes. Inexpensive. Size M.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting.
The boots are ceramic, vitreous enamel. They are fused to his skin from blood flowing downward post-mortem. Removal of the boots is left for processing. Tattoos. The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo, resembling a map of the night sky. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene. The deceased has a cargo lashing belt around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color yellow. Length 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end. Well-nourished, athletically built, measuring 1.8 meters. Generally consistent with age, about 50. Preservation is good. Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short. Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs. Consistent with stones thrown post-mortem. Low velocity.
Fucking low velocity. You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking talking shit about Kuno's.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest. Consistent with predation. Ligature mark. The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the liga.
You got just the right tool for that. The chain cutters.
Always good to think ahead. Now, we need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below. Carefully, with as much precision as you...
See, my pig is gonna fuck his head.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white bread rising from the east.
You are? You're Kuno's pig?
Concentrate on the belt, not on who is whose pig. There is no pig. There are only the... You jam the cutters right under the knot. That seems like a smart idea. Yeah, somewhere there. Already they're buried deep in the man's flesh. Then you rotate them to get a better hold. The lieutenant looks by, somewhat worried as you summon power words to your aid. A really, really bad smell is coming from there now, and some kind of cracking sound.
Yeah, fuck him. Fuck that buggery. Cool.
Told you my pig was hardcore.
I should have a go first. I think I have a strategy.
He sinks the cutters into the knot, preparing to perform the cuts with his... Yes, that's much better form than you had. Snap. The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red.
Here. The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck, on the nape.
As it ought to. This is where its grip on the curdled meat is gentlest.
Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5. Chest is intact, normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant, pelvis intact, genitalia...
No! It's gonna happen, see!
I fucking knew it!
This is clearly what they've been waiting for, ever since the autopsy began. The lieutenant is trying to make it as boring as possible.
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury. Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip.
Bullets have bitten little pieces out of him. It must have been excruciating, especially the hip. Before you is a temple of pain that knew little tenderness in life.
In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin. We have a real museum here. Of battles, war... Last item. Hands. Hands are clean. No sign of a recent struggle. I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, this stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment. Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next? Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system?
You don't even have a joke.
Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it, gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth.
Yeah, jack that fucker off!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Unremarkable. Respiratory system. Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen, hemorrhaging present in...
From here, it looks as though the clown-faced man is screaming. The tendons of his jaw are torn apart. Hyoid ripped from the force of the lieutenant's hands. No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there. Sickly sweet air, unlike anything living. You feel like, no you don't. You can keep it in. You can keep anything in. You manage to suppress the contractions trying to enter your stomach. All it takes is concentration. Through it, you...
There are ancient mysteries down there, Kobo. Ask me.
Hemorrhaging present in mucus. Hepatobiliary, Na. Are you a hepatobiliary expert? Same for toxicology and serology, Na. Cardiovascular. The body exhibits lividity in the lower extremities, feet, hands, and neck. Visually consists gastrointestinal. Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila. What's next on the list? Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one too. Head, chest and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be... And your opinion, officer? Agreed. Next injury? So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response.
At maximum velocity.
Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man, beneath the description of injury. 2.
Right. Next. Oh, so we inflicted them? Okay, so there's an incision on the thorax from a chain cutter. I wouldn't mention it. Better not to muddy the waters.
See? These pigs are fucking corrupt.
Why don't you fuck him if you love him so much?
Now, injuries. A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring... I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and...
Below the note, 2 customary boxes.
That's it. We have established cause of death. It's not much, and it leaves much to be questioned. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over. Well, we established probable cause of death. Some would say that's the goal of an autopsy. We were thorough with the list of injuries too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances...
Oh yeah, well done, Master Detective. Maybe a drink is in order?
I need a copy of that autopsy form. Then I will drive him to Faubourg for processing.
He's thinking, did I miss something? You run your hands over the victim's cold body, his limbs, his torso with its swollen organs. Maybe you should be more... You pull down his breeches. Marbling is present around the crotch. The penis has shrunk, crawling halfway...
Can't get enough of that dick.
Do you think we missed something?
You can't shake the feeling that there are more secrets concealed in the flesh before you.
Okay, well, we are in livor mortis here. He is disintegrating. We need to refrigerate the body. If we want, it would have to be industrial in size. Let's start by asking Gart at the Whirling in Rags and the Fritz store down at the gates. If they don't know...
Fuck are you looking at, Beano man? You want a piece of the Kuno? Wanna get fucked?
Only if all else fails. This is one task we cannot sideline. With every hour, whatever we are looking for will become harder to find.
The man is The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath.
If you think so, I need a little help for carrying him to the holding pen of my kinema. I'll take it from there. Continue working here. The locals, the case, or...
This means Lieutenant Kisuragi will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You're free to do side tasks, and even the main case, though it might be more difficult. If you have nothing to do, read books or sit on the bench on the plaza.
I've got nothing to say to you. Why are you...
Can I help you? Got the 20 real? You must be kidding, right? Yeah, but this establishment only takes cash. Then why are you wasting my time?
The man ponders his cooking utensils and gives you the mention of mañana gets his attention. He smiles and delivers a whole slew of unfamiliar words. They're friends. The man says a couple of sentences in that strange language of his and then seems to wait for you to speak. Just one word. Sounds quizzical. Then he awaits your answer with his brow.
Horse need more vodka?
Vodka borscht! I love it, Bratan! Turn it the fuck up and then ask for...
Turning it up seems like a dangerous idea, honestly. The place is a powder keg. The cook gives you a long, disappointed look, then turns the stove off and seems to wait for you to speak. You see a heavy steel door with...
You missed a good show before. A kid came by and completely...
He fucked the tree up! Fucked it good! It was porno!
Shoot that shit at Kuno, Pigonaut.
It's not Kuno. It's Kuno S.
Fuck you whispering about?
He's whispering too. He's going with it. But watch what happens.
Fuck you whispering about!
If Kuno wants to whisper, he's gonna fucking whisper, okay? Let's whisper, pig.
This is it. You've got him. But be careful. You can still fuck this up. Don't make Kuno look bad.
It's okay. The pig's trying to pit us against each other. Not gonna let him do that.
Idiot. You bungled. That's it. You let him off the line. That
Try to fuck my Kuno! Try to fuck my Kuno!
a chill comes over you, the wind from the boulevard south. He's on your crime scene, bossing you around. And he's been here for some time too. This is where he hangs out. You have to get more out of him. He could be useful.
Trying to fuck at the Kuno! Trying to fuck at me! Trying to fuck! Kuno only gets hot.
Kuno gonna fuck you up! Up!
Normal is not what we got here. You've got to work with what you have.
Kuno doesn't fucking...
The trash containers, the smell of rotten food rises to greet you. You see soggy cartons, dirty rags, and organic waste. The container sounds a muffled gong.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here.
This time it's going to work. You already ruled out the first bad option that didn't.
Stop shitting your pants. You don't need to know, all right? The law handled it.
Yeah. Aren't you listening? It's done.
For God's sake, stop shouting! Stop!
Sounds like someone's damn broke.
They're not going to give you anything. Can't you see? I can't have a police interrogation in here. People are trying to eat. Wait, what?
Easy, babes. What is this? I can't have a slap fight in my bar.
Everyone can see you picked some wrong options. Next time you have to come up with better things to say.
Looks like the circus left town, but the clowns are still here. Again, just get the dead guy's autograph. Since you...
Good one, Titus.
Yeah, lawman. Why don't you?
Weren't you warned to not go down this path? And you...
Not in the arresting mood?
A fearful readiness, like an electrical charge, raises hairs in the room.
Look, Carl, I know you think you're doing your job here, but there are 7 of us, and just one.
That's an Easter 50, a Ziemsk-made monstrosity. It'll blow your head. The bore's the size of your eye. I can almost see the stars.
The little guy? You're the little guy now.
So, little guy, you had some questions?
Beneath everything, he's grateful. Just a bit. You don't force him to get ugly.
Yeah, little question.
About fucking...
sir. I do my studies at home at the moment. I have to help Mum keep this place running. Mum says it's necessary to do both because it builds character. Mum says a proper worker is dutiful. That's how you get ahead in life. You succeed. Mum says it's peachy. She was a little afraid at first. There's talk about this house being cursed.
Behind her, the window has been boarded up. You sense the boards creaking, twisting for a second, and some kind of doubt in her tent.
Cursed in the way that makes them say that no business has ever really thrived here, sir. That they all go... Exactly, but we've been doing fine so far. Yes, please do also look at our wares inside. The postcards and board games are there, sir. I'm not sure, sir. I don't really know anything about curses, but I do know books. We can talk about books. Oh, kings and queens and generals of old, or artists and writers, or musicians, those kinds of people. There's usually something extra. I think that's why people read them, to find the secrets of their fame. I don't know about that, but I imagine life is great when you're
They're all dogs. Annette's expression remains ever so helpful, but she doesn't say anything.
Okay.
Yes? Hello? Me? No one. I'm just a working class woman.
She doesn't really want to be disturbed that much. The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring an extremely muscular rows and rows of Heimdall men blur your vision. You make out some titles. Man from Heimdall and the Mammoth Riders. Man from Heimdall. Return to Heimdall. The display rack before you is burdened under piles of Man from Heimdall novels. A twinge at the back of your head makes you flinch. Your eye starts twitching. Your hand reaches toward a book with glossy cover art of the very muscular Man from Heimdall in chains, kneeling in front of a staircase leading to a throne. A woman sits on the throne, leering at the man. She's laughing at him. Between the throne and the Heimdall man lies a bonfire, casting shadows on the wall. The shadow of the woman's headdress looks like a pair of devil horns. The title reads, Man from Heimdall and the Devil Woman. The display rack before you is burdened under piles of Man from Heimdall novels.
Oh, Man from Heimdall. A very popular series of adventure novels. They're awfully immoral and violent books. Blood and violence, scantily clad women, epic narratives, all those mystical things he encounters. They're bound to grab those with little imagination and nothing to do. What does it matter? They're all the same. However, the customer is always right. If you're a novice of the series, I'd recommend Heimdall Man, the Man from Heimdall. It's supposed to be a good introduction to the series. It is a bestseller for a reason.
An intricate web of blue lines stretches across the torso of the hanged man, from the right shoulder to the solar plexus. Each time the lines intersect, a small white... It still kind of looks like a map of the... It's just a racist mug. What's there to read here? The edges of the pages are worn and smudged. A lot of people have read about the Devil Woman's altercations with the Heimdall man. The jacket copy proclaims, "Man from Heimdall returns in his most exciting adventure yet. After crashing into a strange jungle, cannibalistic natives abduct his only surviving comrade, Noble. He is ambushed by a tribe of female warriors and taken to the ancient citadel of Cloud City, where a mysterious and wicked queen rules supreme. Will Man from Heimdall be able to escape his dire situation and find his You open the book to a random page. Man from Heimdall, wielding his two Zweihanders, is carving through a sea of savages, his visage fixed in grim determination. His arms, whirling like windmills, are soaked with the blood of his enemies. Mangled corpses litter the battlefield. You flip to the copyright page. This book was written in 38. Berserker rage burns in his azure-hued eyes as he brings glory and honor to his long-lost Heimdall tribe. From the village of Heimdall, the ivory giant roars like an ice bear, and the winds of Gatla howl out his name. Man from Heimdall rides on a gilded griffin, his golden mane billowing in the breeze. Both Zweihanders sheathed on his back. He is off to war. Will he conquer his enemies? Will he conquer himself? The steel muscles of Man from Heimdall gleam in the humid jungle air. Yet the man does not sweat. In meditation, his soul drifts in the frigid northlands he calls home. A passage reads, "The man from Heimdall looks up, his eyes blue as the mountain lakes of his homeland. He rarely speaks, but now his voice booms in the darkened throne room. Do not try to sap my masculine essence, wicked temptress. Son of Heimdall, thine spells are no match for purity and strength of will. Brothers of Heimdall, stand above the vices of flesh, for it is weak and corruptible, yet mine is forged in gore and strife. Queen Lydia, I have grand plans for you, Man from Heimdall." She gestures her diabolical hand toward an array of potions and unguents. "First, you shall please me. Then lead my armies against the vicious cannibals. Not a muscle moves in the face of the Man from Heimdall. Yet inside, there is turmoil. This goes against all he holds sacrosanct." In the final pages, Man from Heimdall mounts Galavarin, his mighty griffin, and turns his gaze to the horizon. Queen Lydiana is dead, but an army of cannibals is storming the gates, and still there's no word of trusty Tyribald. To find out what happens next, you'll have to pick up Man from Heimdall and the Three-Eyed Skull, available in fine bookstores everywhere. Spring. The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring an extremely muscular, a small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are
Wonderful board games, sir. The Viticulturist is a classic for sure, or perhaps Raubritter is a fun game of economic competition, but can get quite intense after a while. We have games for the whole family.
Who are you going to play board games with? Do you have friends? It certainly feels like whatever you are will die with you.
Then you're a lucky man, officer. children are the greatest of treasures. For playing with friends, I'd recommend Suzerainty. It's a civilization building game where you build a civilization, then set off to brutally colonize and repress other civilizations. It'll cost 12 rial. Lousy auras there. No, role-playing games are popular among those types. You know, who are into those kind of things. I've heard they turn people into occult enthusiasts. That they have rituals where they try to summon entities. Highly immoral stuff. You can still buy them though.
This bookstore is not strictly about crime, romance, and biographies of famous people. There's also a wide range of paranatural literature.
Sir, please, no browsing in that shelf. That wisdom is not... I can't have you end up, like, opening a police store next door and stealing my customers. Oh no!
Amidst the various books, you find one written by someone named Matthias W. Dundas. It's about the point of the book, and many others on this shelf, is to give people medicinal advice in situations where they don't have access to paid health services. It serves platitudes, while also telling everyone that traditional medicine, the kind people don't have access to, and which costs more than this book, is garbage, and would only give you cancer anyway, without even wholeness, unity, balance. On the other hand, can basically take care of anything. When it's up to your mind to heal yourself, then it's because of your mind that you're ill in the first place. It's your own fault if you're ill. Got it? The book features chapters on topics such as how to find magnesium. It even lists plants you can harvest magnesium from. There's even a chapter on the ancient Seraïs tradition of using duck gallbladder preservatives to treat and prevent sexually transmitted diseases. Pre and post factum apply. Nothing worth buying. This is just mundane garbage. What's even paranatural about this? The throbbing in your head increases with every passing moment you gaze at. Suddenly, as if out of nowhere, a small green book becomes apparent. The title of it reads, Medicinal Purposes. The book contains very little explanation on the matter. This knowledge seems to be taken for granted. The book contains descriptions of various pseudoscientific therapies, for example, it recommends vigorously swatting one's naked body with a venik or hand broom, made from the leafy twigs of a young birch tree. Even better if you can find someone else, preferably a large man dressed in nothing but a towel, to thrash you while you're spread naked and helpless on a cool slab. It is supposedly invigorating and good for the circulation. Several maps have been attached to a bulletin board hidden inside the maps look old and faded. Your eye catches a map of incident. The plaque on the shelf reads, Biographies of Famous People. You see a set of tattered curtains blocking the way to another room. A strange cage-like trinket dangles.
Excuse me, officer. The back room.
She's right. Those curtains give off some... Be wary of those mysterious ornaments from the dark aisles. Do you realize what's out there? Upon the mist-shrouded islands of Ile de Fantôme in Seminine, eerie pygmies and wild shamans practicing unnatural mysticism. Not so. You sense their strange magics, cast from the dark forest they writhe around it.
Nothing. Now please go back to browsing the books. Don't you feel compelled to look at the books? The books are all you can.
Oddly enough, the more she tries to draw you away from the curtains, the more alluring they become. You see some kind of charm, an irregular polyhedron assembled from bones, sticks, and straw. Inside, a disturbing fish head. Aside from poking at it, suspicion. Just as you're about to pull apart the curtains, the petrified voice...
Sir, don't touch that. I told you it's off limits for the customers. Parapsychologically speaking, we're done if you decide to open them. I won't be held responsible for the consequence.
She looks away, mumbling. Why is everyone always messing with the curtains? Why can't they just buy books like normal people?
Why? It's not like anyone was killed there. I am sorry. I don't mean to be so impolite. Just please don't go. No, it's just a storeroom for the employees. I told you. Now please step away from the curtains. You do? My God, even more reasons not to mess with the curtains. Just step away, dear sir. No! Please just talk to me, officer. Come here and let's talk this through before you decide to...
Lies. Rip them. There is something mysterious about the curtains. The curtains, tattered with age and covered in dust, hang before you, as if torn...
Hello again, esteemed officer, and welcome to Crime, Romance, and Biographies of Famous People. Cursed? Who said that? Annette? I will have a word with her. This place is not cursed. It has a robustly magnetic energy. Good for commercial activity. My business is thriving, sir.
Doesn't feel like it's thriving. Feels ghostly.
I already told you, it's just a storage room for employees. I don't understand. Just let it go, officer. Go buy some goddamn books. You're supposed to be drawn to the books. It's just for decoration. Okay, fine. It's because this place is cursed, just like Annette said. Are you happy now, officer? Happy that you've ruined everything?
Take it easy. You've broken her resistance. Pushing her further will gain nothing.
Yes, I've contacted numerous parapsychologists and even a pair of Simonese mediators. They provided me with the wards. The wards help to keep the doom at bay and protect us against the darkness that lies further in the building, even though now I fear it's not enough. It's not good to talk about the curse, not in detail. The negativism, it's dangerous.
Such wraiths may prove a formidable enemy. Suit up.
The curse is so much worse than you could imagine. It's a disease, eating at the very foundation. It's the curse of financial distress, of ruin and bankruptcy.
Didn't that curtain just move?
Everyone knows that all the previous companies in this building have sooner or later declared bankruptcy, and their malicious spirits are still here, feeding off bad business practices and disappointing income statements. There's something wrong with this building, I can tell you. Ever since I arrived, I've sensed an eerie, lingering presence.
Sounds familiar.
Truly so? Perhaps the dark energies are leeching off you. You shouldn't stay in the store too long. It may be dangerous. Most certainly not. I don't want anyone who's not...
Psychic arts? Sounds right down our alley. Slither up to her, you silver-tongued fiend. Show her what world-class perfidy looks like.
Are you sure? Don't think I haven't seen charlatans before. I'm not sure I can trust your claims. Honestly, you look like a bit of a drinker. I'm sorry for being...
Hey now, hey. You need the booze to focus, all right?
How do you know?
Here we go.
You're part Simonese. Oh, it means our meeting couldn't have been mere chance. The hand of fate guides us. But I am not the only one at risk. I have to think of my daughter. You are certain you can help us? Keep us safe? I can't allow any collateral damage to hit us. If you promise, good officer, then you might be our last hope. Do you swear it? Thank you, sir. There's one more thing I haven't told you about yet. The entity.
Do not act surprised. You know of these things, sire.
You have? The entity takes the form of a woman, a witch probably. I've suspected that she must be connected to the curse ever since I first saw her. Did you know that she lives inside the chimney? Yes, that chimney is part of the building's central furnace, and it's enormous. She has barricaded herself behind some metal security curtains. God knows what she's... Some unnatural magic, I assume. You should go find the entity and ask what happened to all the companies in the building. What is the source of this curse? Here's the key to the warded door behind the curtains. Take it. Oh, and please do return to me after you've looked round. I'm quite anxious to know what she has to say about the curse.
Unbelievable darkness and ruin.